So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang. Welcome back to another episode of What Are We Talking About, Jeff? It is the 8th installment. This is getting cool. All right, so just got some news. Giannis is out of the game. We're live right now, as a matter of fact, for me. So Giannis just came out, but I'm thinking it's a precautionary thing. They knocked knees. A couple players did, but the Bucks are so far ahead, I think they were just like, you know what, Giannis can rest the rest of the day. So no fear there. I think he's going to be okay, everybody. Just looking and checking on those newses. But we were going to talk about the Bucks now. I got a suggestion from a friend. So right off the bat, we will go with the Milwaukee Bucks on our stuff here. And to talk about them, there we go. Yeah, let's see here. There we go. So we'll say this, Milwaukee's still going strong. I've got my notes here and everything like that. So if you guys are getting ready to come on and join me, please. We're taking some time here with remembering that it was all media. I wanted to tell you about that you're watching right now. So, the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Milwaukee's still going strong. It's weird because you think they're going to fall to a team and you see them lose once in a while and you're going, oh, man. And then you see the record still a winning record. You're going, what did I miss? But then they rattled off a number in a row. They're playing the Miami Heat tonight. And the big pickup, the big thing we were talking about, I hit this one on the head when I found out that they'd been talking about Jay Crowder a couple weeks ago. I did a live video gaming post where I was playing golf with a buddy of mine on Twitch, and we got to talking quite a bit because he's from Phoenix. So we got to talking about the Suns. We got to talking about his family down there. We got to talking about, and right when we were talking about the Bucks and everything, the trades started going down. So we were playing golf online at the time, gaming, and so my buddy Kevin was talking about it, and sure enough, we shared it for Jay Crowder. And I said to him right on that live show, I said, I'm telling you right now, they've obviously got to move somebody, right? And I went, they're going to move George Hill. He's going to be gone. And they were talking about how Grayson Allen would have been the guy to move, or at least they were looking at opposite Grayson Allen. And the more and more I watched the games, the more and more I saw Giannis and Grayson having quite this, I don't know, they seem to be when it's, when Drew's on the bench or Middleton's on the bench, Grayson and I guess Pat Connaughton, too, you could kind of throw in there since Pat got back. Pat is out tonight, but when Pat got back here, too, recently, there was quite the gel going on. So, you have nice gel with non-starters. And Grayson had been starting in place of Connaughton for a lot of this, too. So he was getting a lot of minutes. And you just didn't see Jordan playing. And whether they're resting him because of age or whatever, the news started popping up probably because we were getting Connaughton back and we had George Hill and we have Carter, we have Drew Holiday. How many guards do you need? And so right away, my first thought was, well, why wouldn't they move George Hill? I mean, I like George a lot. He was a big spark off the bench, but, we won the championship without him. It's nothing against George. I think he was a great spark, and the whole season before won the championship, how strong George Hill was to the team. But, he's up there in age, and if anything with Grayson, you just have this great gel going on, and he and Pat are similar style players. Pat's got more ups, but they both shoot threes. They both make their way open on a swing situation. So it was kind of like you like having mirror players that also play well together on the same minutes. So right away I was like, George Hill's going. And sure enough, they moved George Hill and two other guys to another team. But They also, I didn't realize they gave up the draft picks they did. So I was kind of surprised about that. But at the same time, you're going, they probably got him for whatever reason or whatever. But at the same time, you're going, what value? Now, Jay Crowder, what does he bring to the team? He's already scored for the first time for the team. He's Milwaukee familiar. We've all felt good about that. He's a pressure type guy, pushes the ball, heat guy. He likes to get, worked up, and they need that kind of fired up nature. That's not just Giannis getting himself hurt, getting fired up. And, we've already got Bobby Portis, but then you put Crowder kind of in that starting group and bring Bobby off the bench. Now you're looking great, or you get Bobby and Crowder coming off the bench. Crowder can shoot threes as well. And Portis can shoot it here and there too, right? So now you've got forwards who can shoot threes. You've got a center who can shoot threes. Now you add this guy from the Heat too. And I'm not sure on his game. I never really paid attention to his game. I'll have to find out more. I should have been watching tonight. Instead, I'm online with you guys, and I don't mind it. I love you guys. So I don't mind being out here. I hope you guys are liking what you're watching. What are we talking about, Jeff? Well, right now we're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, as you can see right there. And as I'm looking at everything, I'm really impressed with, Budenholzer in general. I'm impressed with Milwaukee in general when it comes to sports lately. And speaking of which, as we'll toss this in there, I'm going to point this out. I'm just making my titles and everything. Sorry, guys. I'm really impressed with what Budenholzer's doing. Darvin Ham has left as far as coaching, obviously on with the Lakers, and they're trying to hold on to some playoff positions. They beat the Warriors last night, which is quite a big deal. Let's face it. Beating the Warriors now, they don't have Curry right now. He's hurt, and he's not happy about it. I wouldn't necessarily expect otherwise, right? I mean, he's a competitor by all accounts. There is so much going on with the Milwaukee sporting thing. Now, everybody's worried about the pitching situation now that Corbin Burns is having a problem or whatever with the Brewers, but that's what happens tomorrow. The Brewers start preseason tomorrow, so everybody get ready for that at 2:00 in the afternoon tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I'm going to be heading my way over to play a show. I'm doing Travis Tritt and Tim McGraw. Can you like the hair? Is it getting there? The Travis Tritt hair? We getting there? We're getting close. Actually, you have to do this to get the Travis Tritt hair. It's got to be on each side now, right? So I'll be doing that show at the end of the year. So looking forward to doing that with you guys. I'm being called for a second, but I was talking about the Brewers real quick. They're coming up, and we all love Counsell. We all love his ability. We all love how strong he can be. There's many who doubt him, especially when they have tough times or whatever. But considering the talent lineup and how some of the talent lineup can seem to waste away, typically in Milwaukee, how the talent lineup can kind of wean at sections in the season what we would expect to be a downward spiraling on, which is really awesome. So I really like that. And with Budenholzer, we have just such a good thing going on. Now you can add the Packers and all that, and we're going to deal with Rodgers and everything. But LaFleur, pretty solid, right? I mean, I think we'll find out for sure once he doesn't have a superstar quarterback. And again, we talked about Love and the other thing, but again, this was about Milwaukee Bucks and just how well they're doing. I'm gonna say I'm thinking they're gonna be great. I still love how strong they are. They still set you those question marks. You're like, man, I don't know, they're gonna do it. They can actually get over the hump again. And I think they're just as strong now. And you put some good people in place when you get a guy like Jay Crowder, and Grayson was pretty strong last year, and I could see us doing something good. We beat Boston. We're doing strong against the Heat now. Atlanta's not playing well. The Nets are upside down, right? And all the stars are going to the West. Can we beat Doncic? Is it Doncic and Kyrie? They looked pretty good in their first outing together, 142 to 111, I think is what it was. And so there's that. LeBron's always going to be as strong as he can be. Phoenix has retooled now with another element. KD, crazy, right? Can they coexist? Can you get a Golden State type image out of that, right? So I don't know. I don't know if you can. We've got all types of good stuff coming up on the show, by the way, guys. So stick around with me. I'm adding all the titles as speak. There we go. I get my notices now from my website. I love that. I have new clips here too. We're also going to show you things that I can tell you to like and subscribe. Something like this, support us out there. So I want to point that out. You can take a picture of that right there, or click on the bell and never miss a thing from what's going on with us. All right. So scan that QR code. Find me out there. Find the family. We're going to start shooting some more episodes. We did our kind of introduction to 5 years later, and I think it's about 5 years later or so of where we've been as a family, and it's a whole new era. And traveling too. Traveling is going to take on a whole new perspective as we've got some Mexico dates for some of the going there. I'm going to travel to most likely Florida and Virginia this year. So it's going to be a pretty crazy year. Got to tell you. I'm hoping we guys out there in the chats. I'm seeing a couple in here. Yeah. I will open up some things. I wanted to talk about video gaming and some of the things going on with that as well. I wanted to talk about that in this next few minutes. Also, favorite meals to make. Now, I have some favorites, so I'm going to toss out and kind of open up that can of worms, I guess. It's a lot of fun, though. Things I like to make, things I'm learning about cooking. That might be something kind of cool. That's something we don't normally explore in the show, and it just came up to my mind, so I put it on my list of things to talk about. And also kids sports, high school sports, things like that we wanted to touch on later this evening as well. So stick around with me if you can. I'm writing those in right now. And when I talk about it, where it's going from here, right? Where we think sports are going to go when it comes to what I want to say it right because you say something just out of the line and then they kind of wonder what you're thinking. But in this case is where the competitive nature of Americans is these days. Have we lost that? Those kind of things, right? I think that's something to talk about, to figure out. Just crazy. We're 15 minutes in. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. I'm going to also check something out here. If you like what you're hearing too, there's a tip jar out there as well in the PayPal realm. If you've got PayPal, you can do that. I also have Venmo too. You just put my name in, you'll find me. If you're enjoying the stuff that I put out. Something exciting too I wanted to toss on there. I just kind of noticed on my newsreels here. Starting tomorrow, they're posting and everything like that. You'll see it. That's right. Here you go. The Milwaukee Auto Show starting tomorrow, going all the way till March 5th. So definitely something to check out there. I should probably fix that. Hi, buddy. How's it going? Kids are in the house. Hi, guys. How's it going? So I was telling Liam, the Milwaukee Auto Show, February 25th, starting tomorrow, all the way till March 5th. I'm hoping to get down there to see a little bit of it as well. Maybe we can do something with the Landon Way. Bring everybody down with me, and we'll go see some cars and stuff too. A lot of fun. What's up, buddy?
So are we going there tomorrow or Sunday?
No, I'm playing tomorrow, but I got you though. Well,
Sunday?
Maybe that might be a good day to do it.
We were thinking of going to like what we did
Run around.
like when we went to that trampoline park.
Yeah.
In Appleton.
Yeah.
We were thinking about doing that, but then
I see the kids talking. This might be a mix of Landon Way by the time we're done with it. The kids and I went to Appleton to the trampoline park there, and that was kind of wild afternoon. We did a movie, right?
yeah.
We did a movie that day, and then they have the game room over at the movie theater as well. So some cool stuff there. So the Milwaukee Auto Show is kind of in that idea of going on trips. So thank you guys. Appreciate that. Some guests in the house. Liam in there, and of course Aurora jumping in. Famous from the Landon Way series that we're doing. Love it. Liam and Aurora are going to be doing gaming series as well. That leads me into my next thing that'll be coming up here. I wanted to ask a serious question on that. So with video gaming and everything, that's been kind of interesting to me. We're so worried about grooming things these days, right? Worried about people doing too much to push people a certain direction or this direction or that direction. There's people who think we should be teaching them everything. And yet every time I look on for games they're showing for adults on phones, like every other ad on my phone is some sort of ad where you're shooting zombies. And it's okay to shoot zombies, not to think about that some of them were probably former human beings before they became zombies. So there's, I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. I feel there could be some sort of kind of double standard with that. I really do. I feel like there's a double standard to that. Very hard not to feel awkward when we talk about too much violence on video games since the 1980s. We got into the 90s and 2000s once Grand Theft Auto became a thing, and they were freaking out about that. But nobody's saying anything about the fact that I'm listening to 10-year-olds play Fortnite. And I can hear a kid on the microphone going, "I killed him. I killed 2 guys. I killed him." And you're thinking, great, they're excited about killing something, and it's technically another human being. And that's going to be the norm in their mind. And so that kind of got me thinking, like, how many games when you go on are on there that aren't a gun shooting game, some sort of punching fighting game, some sort of sword play game? Are video games too gun-ho? The best one is when they give you the ads for like these simple playing games. Now I was playing a island war game, Top War or whatever, where you go to an island and you fight battles on robots and things like that, and you create better ranked soldiers and tanks and stuff and I was doing that probably about 5 years ago, right? And they're re-advertising it quite a bit on the phone ads that I get. But they're talking about how many of you hate finding a game when you see the ad for the game and it's nothing like the game is supposed to be. And I know they've got these soldiers shooting other soldiers and shooting things to kill zombies or aliens. by the time you're done, that's not the game at all. And yet they have this girl on there going, oh, I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that. This looks just like the game. It's not the game. I know it isn't because I had it. And so there's that too, where they're actually showing the shooting game strictly. And you're not building up resources and collecting money and things like that. They're not showing that. All they're showing is better gun, bigger gun, more guys to shoot, more, a big tank, and are they too gun-ho now? Like, it's funny. Video games lean towards the idea of shooting, finding other people to get. It's competitive. So what we've gone, I'm starting to see this in that entertainment industry idea that we were talking about, guys. We've gone from that to, the macro that I was talking about, where we shift over here, even though it's still the entertainment industry, it's not leaning towards something. I'll tell you what that something is in just a second. I'm going to give you a station identification to know where you're watching DAHL Media.
So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Yep, that's right. Like and subscribe if you can there, guys. Jump on all that. DAHL Media, and what are we talking about, Jeff? I thank you for joining me out here tonight, and hope you guys are having a good night wherever you are. Hopefully most of my friends out eastern Wisconsin, maybe most anybody around Wisconsin that I know. If I ever told you my history, you'll know. If you know, you know. But we were, just talking about the idea of video games and all those. Are they too gun-ho, right? Are they too much into that? And, but I want to kind of, it's those macroeconomic kind of views of what your industry is doing. What the entertainment industry is doing now is live. The 2000s we had reality TV. That's what we had. Now we have YouTube TV, which stuff like you and I, this is reality TV. We're talking about the real things in our lives. And so we're back to that through YouTube. So we don't want to see that on TV as much. So you're not seeing as many numbers for reality TV and things like that. We're seeing morning shows that had hosts that were doing debates, change names, hosts splitting apart and starting another one at another sports, and it's not consistent. It's not. Now there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 different guys debating about what the next sports thing is going to be. And then you have us now. We have guys on Facebook doing NFC talk and stuff. They're great. Luckily, somebody formatted it so you could follow along, and they would bring guests on, and it wasn't just vulgar language like you're watching the comments in some of these bashing sessions of different teams, right? So you have that on the Facebook side now. You've got YouTube doing all these. It's making stars out of all of us. But you're seeing the reality TV kind of turn towards that, towards opinions. Same thing with me. I'm not bashing it. You're just seeing a lot of that. But that's sign of the times, too. There's things to be concerned about. There's things to talk about. And so many newsreels out there that can push one side or the other to an extreme. And they're flooding their group of people with an opinion to, they hope, shape the world. And I think if I'm going to form an opinion to shape the world, I would hope it would have enough basis to not want to call somebody names, to not want to look at somebody and just keep calling them an idiot for the rest of their lives. I think the thing that I can be concerned, I can have an opinion that's going to weigh to one side or another in the sense that I just want to put a gate in front of it and this isn't going to change, right? We all should hold down something we stand for, to hold down change. And it has to be strong. Those, I think it's 3 or 4 major things in your own life that you hold down the fort on. But yeah, yes, I am. So it's hard to break away just yet. The wife's in there, everybody. Heather's in the studio. Come on. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. She looks beautiful.
Hello, everybody.
She's in her BTS outfit. Sorry, she's behind the mic there. We'll turn it up. There we go. All right. So, so on the show, we're talking about video gaming and too gun ho. You notice?
Talking about what?
Video gaming.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
People used to be serious about money and food.
Yeah.
Very serious. You don't screw up people's food. They do not like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, money is an issue if you screw up somebody's money.
Yeah.
But it's become now games in general.
Yeah. Well, and
there's people are serious.
Well, and too gun ho is kind of my subtitle on the whole thing. And it's one of those things where are not gung ho, right? Gun ho. It's kind of a play on the words, but the idea that, are we seeing that like a grooming piece? All the newsreels that we hear is China and
everybody's into YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. When we were kids, your age group is a little different than mine, but we didn't have, my grandmother never had a TV.
Right.
Like, I literally played with dirt. It was just me.
That's funny. My grandmother had a TV. It was better than ours for a little while. But we pushed her to it, is what we did.
Well, I think eventually my grandfather pushed her to it too.
Well, I noticed
one of the 3 she
but
had.
yet for the longest time, your grandmother was also pretty savvy on a computer, which is kind of wild.
Yeah. Yes, she is. But that's funny too, because all of my uncles and my aunts, they're all like IT computer kind of people. Yeah. Which blows my mind. But yeah, my grandmother did not have a TV. And when I lived on the slaughterhouse, meat packing plant, it was just me. And grandma would help take care of me because I only had my dad. Yeah. And he had to work and he was going to school and I had played with dirt, like the dog, the sheeps, the pigs, and dirt. Yeah. So, and that was not that long ago. I'm not that old. Yeah. So how things have changed to a very technical thing. Yeah. But we used to complain about kids. Used to complain about kids. Yeah. Our kids and their phones. A lot of parents, though, spend too much time not paying attention to their kids and looking at their phones. Well, but now it's not even just phones.
So you say you didn't have everything. A TV, though.
For a long time. Eventually, obviously,
well, right.
I did.
What was your first video game machine?
Nintendo.
Okay, so SNES. What was Super Nintendo?
What was the one before? Because Atari.
You did have Atari. Okay.
Did. But again, my family. I think about all my uncles and my dad.
We still have
very technical kind of family.
When we bought our house, there's actually an Atari 6400 in the back in a box.
I remember.
Haven't even fired it up, but I kind of wonder if it works.
My brother and I.
Yeah.
Would have fights.
Okay, what was your
video games?
What was your first video game in Atari? Mine was my brother and my dad had Asteroid Wars the first night we had the machine.
The ping pong one.
Oh, you had Pong.
Yeah.
Did you have the original Pong with the wheels? So did we.
Yeah.
So she's saying my generation is old and we both had Pong.
Because he's technically almost a decade older than me.
I think that's the funny thing is I feel like I'm genres. I'm genres of different decades because I'm so ancient
Yeah,
with my
me too,
mom's music material and my dad's stuff that I grew up with.
Well,
but
we've
yet
talked about that
I talk
too.
about stuff from your era too.
We've talked about that though too. Like our friends.
Yeah.
Some of your friends, some of your closest friends are older, and some of my closest friends are younger. So we have some of.
But
our
yet, when I
friends
talk to
that
you, I think
we have
what I noticed about you is you were an old soul.
Yes, that's you told me that when we first started seeing each other.
Yeah, you have an old soul approach on life.
Because I grew up with my grandmother.
Right.
Some of my earliest memories are that older generation.
I still get picked on for being the old guy.
And he's always going to be the old guy. So
Oh, yes, I will be. No doubt about that. But she catches up to me for at least
a year.
At least 3 months.
Oh yeah, 3 months.
She kind of gets close. 3 months.
Oh, it's funny. So, but I look at it in that perspective of our friends. Some of our couple friends or some of our friends, even the younger, we have really, younger generation and the older generation that because of our age gap.
Yeah.
Just people in general. So
well, yeah.
So I like all types of people.
We were talking about the Bucks. We're going to talk about favorite meals I like to make. I might have to keep you on for the favorite meals thing because you like to make some good ones too, and we could talk about little things we like to make. I think that'd be a good one.
I look like dog crap.
This is reality. This isn't scripted quite like some of the shows you watch on YouTube or Daily Wire or any of that. We're, and what I discovered watching some of the Daily Wire stuff and learning, I like the formatted stuff, right? Yeah. I like the formatted stuff because it feels like we're watching cable TV. He's
getting to be very organized on how he wants to talk to you guys. Me, I just wing it.
Well, I'm literally coming up with like a list of things to talk about now too. Like episode 8, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, we can talk about the video games there really quickly. One last thing.
Yeah.
Our kids really are obsessed with video games. I mean, all 3 of them. It's not just one, and it's not just. I mean, even our Dakota is like.
I have an opinion though on it. Are you worried?
Yes and no.
Right, that's the weird thing. Like I am. But I'm not, and it's.
Well, the reason I say that is because
we grew up in the MTV era.
Well, but I say that because I know our kids.
Yeah.
And I know how we've been raising them.
Yeah.
And all of them, especially Dakota, I mean, she's got the grades to prove that she deserves to play video games. Right. Now, I think that if they were, our 2 younger ones struggle on some things with school, but they're also getting the help they need. So playing video games is more of a reward because they are both trying so hard and doing well in school. So I think, in my time, we weren't allowed to play video games unless we did the things, homework and the things we were supposed to.
I think I fear the idea of constant and consistent.
Yeah.
There's a difference between each word, if you're constantly checking in on your kids, that's a good thing. Yeah. Being consistent on checking on your kids. I don't know if we're necessarily consistent, but because it's constant, it can be random when we do it though. And I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah. Because
we're constantly checking.
I'm a firm believer that kids deserve for us to trust them too, because that's the only way they're going to do things wrong. I know that seems kind of backwards thinking.
I haven't seen major tendencies that would be red flags.
No, and you can't be perfect at life. It just doesn't happen. You have to make mistakes no matter what age you're at. How else are you going to learn, I guess? So our kids deserve to fall too, and for us to be there to guide them in which direction they're supposed to take. It's like somebody, I use Dakota a lot because she's a good example. Dakota has exceptional grades. She's kind of the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But she's also not perfect, and she has to be able to come to us when she does fall, or when she does get things right. Because if you get constantly getting everything right, all the time or doing everything right all the time, how do you know what to do when things do get rough or you do fail? You're not going to know what to do because you've had everything right so far.
Yeah.
So having wrong answers or having a mistake or doing something wrong, kids are kids. You know, my biggest thing is we need to show by example, but also be here for them so that they trust us just as much as we trust them.
And I set the point earlier. I was just saying that as you walked into the idea of there's always going to be something that you should believe in, that there should be a fence that should stop. And it's usually like three major things that we can, you know, if you're going to say something to your kids and you have it, that it's important to you and that they can't cross that line. I think you should have at least a basis of some sort of three major things that lay a foundation, right? But other than that,
it's like the I can't thing.
Life is life, right?
We weren't. I wasn't, especially around my grandmother, bless her heart. I was never allowed to say I can't do something.
Yeah.
I can't do something
right.
because she felt like you can do something, and that's kind of how I look at the kids too. Sometimes is stop saying you can't do something.
Yeah.
When you haven't even tried, or because you've failed a few times doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like somebody telling you that you can't sing. Technically, everybody can sing, just not everybody has the talent that Geoff has.
Everybody's a yes man to me, I think, is what it is.
You know, so, but that's just my theory. I mean, I don't know if I've ever shared that the Walmart story.
Right.
Have we ever shared the Walmart story? When we were standing next to the couple that had 3 kids also, and then our 3 kids were in the line next door. So we were at Walmart one time. Kids were little. And we had a couple, and they had 3 kids in the aisle next to us, or in the cash register next to us. And we were in this one aisle, and the kids were being kids, and they were rowdy and loud. And the parents, you could tell that they were having a hard time, and they were very frustrated, and just could not seem to control or get control of their kids. And you could just see that they were just upset when they left. And the I don't remember her name or who it was, but she had asked us, because our kids were sitting,
how are you kids so well-mannered?
Yes, they were all sitting one was in the cart, Dakota was standing up, and one was in the seat. And they were just quiet. Nobody asked for anything, which I usually would have the Walmart talk with them, like, we're going into Walmart, is this going to be a good experience or a bad experience? Because I'm the type of person, I'm not afraid to leave, and I'm not afraid to say something to my kids, but I refuse to even enter Walmart if my kids were being rowdy or anything like that. But
we ran into many times where we watch other kids go by in the aisle, and they'd be underneath the cart, and they'd be laying like this and kind of complaining, and our kids would kind of watch like
what the heck is going on? So, but
I thought because it was strange to them, that was a good thing. Like, that looks strange. But good, you're not like that. That's just great.
But she had asked us why our kids were so well behaved, and my theory on that
can't say it was all us on purpose. Those kids are great.
They're good kids.
I don't know. It's just wild. Yeah.
But I had told her, I said, you know, if you tell your kids over and over and over and over that they're bad kids, they'll start to believe it. And my kids have done things wrong. Believe me, no kid is perfect. No adult is perfect. Nobody is perfect.
Yep.
But I don't tell my kids that they're bad kids. They make mistakes, and they've gotten in trouble for those mistakes, but I also discuss it with them and talk to them about it. But I think our kids got to be good kids because I didn't sit on my hands, no offense, and look at my phone.
Yeah. Well, and
that's my opinion. I'm not saying.
Then there's moments though where I think you and I both feel like we've been on our phones, we're on technology too much. We're away from our kids. Are we being bad? And you know, whether it's the modern babysitter or not, one of the things, you know, I'm looking for, if of my 3 rules, if you're going to be on there, which is pretty much how I learned singing play guitar.
Yeah.
All the things I learned that made me somewhat talented was because I was watching TV. I was a TV kid.
This.
Right. Well, and it's what I saw, I soaked in. Right. But I didn't soak into things that made me bad habits necessarily. You know, like I didn't look at a beer commercial and go, I should be drinking beer. That wasn't, I didn't take commercials in like I should be drinking beer. I actually wanted to watch the people, how they acted through that commercial.
I'm definitely a people watcher myself.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at Disney World being like, oh, this is so cool. All the different kinds of people.
Yeah. Like in daily life, and then compare it to what the TV looks like too. Yeah.
And that's probably why I got into the business I'm in.
Right. Being a people person,
I am.
Without having to necessarily
kind of my
need
thing.
Technology, except for when you're talking on the phone, right?
I'm deeping.
And so one of the things with the kids was with the gaming and things like that. Like I find Liam has a habit of it.
It's
Laura
kind
and
of in
Dakota
our
have
blood,
this habit too, though, where I remember Dakota when she first started doing things, she would. All of a sudden, I noticed as middle school came, she would do Minecraft to the point where she would watch videos on how to build something. But then she'd learn from Grandpa. She'd learn on her own how to be a leader in it.
My family is technical kind of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially Dakota. She really picked up on that.
And then I started seeing those habits with Aurora and Liam, where, you know, Liam right off the bat was with the DVDs on John Deere, and he kept watching him. He could tell us words. And Aurora...
Well, Cars started that.
Cars started that too, for sure.
We've seen the movie Cars 1, 2, and 3 probably 1,000 times.
I took a
joke.
I took a Facebook thing about how well do you know Cars from the 70s?
Oh my God, that's funny.
I missed 3 of them, right? And so I showed it to Liam, and I was able to go back through it. It was the exact same cars again, so I knew where I made the mistakes. But I also realized why I made the mistakes. Some of them were kind of, the car was hidden by the person standing in front of it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, Liam is behind me going, oh yeah, that's this car. And then I'm going, holy crap. Wow. Like he doesn't have to know this, and he does. So
which is kind of cool.
Right. Well, and Roar is that way.
So if Liam becomes a mechanic, you'll know why.
Yeah.
He really loves cars.
I told him to take electronics.
Since Cars the movie has come out.
Yeah.
I swear to you, he will become a mechanic.
Yeah.
That's just how I remember driving him to school, and he was probably, oh God, he had to be like 4 or 5 years old. He was so little, and he had to be 4.
Yeah.
And we had passed a car hauler. Is that what it's called? A car hauler?
Yeah.
A car transporter. And he was 4 years old, and one had passed us, and he asked me what the name of it was, and I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, Mom, it's a car transporter.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he did that with me with the word excavator at his young age, and you were like,
I'm blown away. So I think he'll become a mechanic. I don't have a doubt in my mind.
So Heather, you got to tell him what YouTube channel they're watching.
DAHL Media.
Stick around for a sec with us.
So I'll tell you, the things they want to talk about, the things I want to talk about are kind of crazy. It's stupid stuff in Jeff's head for 200, Alex. What are we talking about, Jeff?
Dang. All right, so we're back, and Heather's hanging out with me. The family feature, I kind of called this one now. You know, the beauty of being non-scripted.
Because I interrupted. I actually need this crazy guy.
Yeah.
To help me with something upstairs, and then I come down here, and then
now
here I am.
We're involved. That's it.
Never fail, and I laugh at every video. Every video, never fails.
So I kind of like it that you're on the show that I created now too, because this is basically what we did in the Landon Way, but we were doing trips with the Landon Way. 2 of them. Yeah, set that here. Yeah. So yeah, we did trips with the Landon Way, so we kind of want to keep that going where we're on trips when we do episodes for the Landon Way. So we're still kind of garnering how that's going to go. So this just became something where it was kind of a podcast. Keep it going.
This kind kind of became Landon Way right now because I interrupted.
That's okay. That's why I'm calling it the family feature. I'm having a few of these now where I think, it'd be nice to have segments, little moments that are random, or maybe on certain days.
You guys can just think we're crazy too.
Yeah, well, that's why it says, what are we talking about? what are we talking about? I could use a, yeah. Thanks, bartender. So you're hanging out with us literally in our studio here, and we're finding out about different things to talk about. One of them I wanted to talk about, and Heather's with me, and I think it's great because we can talk about the favorite meals we like to make. And I feel right now we're in the Saturday Night Live skit where I'm the piano player and she's the singer.
I think it should be favorite meals you can cook.
Meals you can cook?
Meals, I said.
I think we're in the Freudian slip days, everybody. Leave a comment on that one, please. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
buddy.
it. No sponsors here.
Sorry.
We're good. Just kidding. All right, there we go. We will. We will talk about Point Beer. Bill Martino, you guys. We're outside of Stevens Point, not that far, and really love those guys. And my old friends from Stetson and Layson here. We hang out with you every time. And of course, the Point Beer mug that you can get if you come out and hang out at Point Beer. So I'm going to put my in there. There you go. And we're going to talk about meals we like to make.
Oh, Lord.
And honestly, I think we can start right off the bat. Here's to you, everybody. We can start right off the bat. Meals we like to make. Steak and potato, steak and eggs is one of my favorites.
That's my favorite food.
To eat. Yeah. And it's so mine too. I always said I was a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Well, we don't do fish in this household, so my kids and Jeff have to go somewhere else to do fish because I don't make fish. I like fish. Nothing.
I'm a little behind. I really like my cod when I can get it. So.
I don't eat it. I can't have it.
What did you see the face if I said scallops? I accidentally got her. We were at Walmart. Me and Aurora were at Walmart, and I wanted to get a quick snack for everybody, and I wanted to bring some home for her. So we were just going to have those chicken poppers.
Yeah.
The little nuggets, right? And so I bought one of those cups of those,
popcorn
and not realizing it. Yeah, it looks exactly like the shrimp they do too. And I accidentally bought the shrimp, and she took 2 bites and was like, she was downstairs when she first took the bites, so I didn't know. And I took a bite of one of them and going, oh my God, these aren't chicken. And I ran to her to see if she was okay, because she can be allergic to some of that to an extent. Whether it's just from flavor that her body reacts to it.
Yeah, so I don't break out in hives or anything like that, but it will come right back up. That's a vivid picture, but it does. It just comes right back. I can't. Oh. Yeah. So anybody that knows me really well knows I don't cook it because I don't eat it. Yeah. So if the kids happen to be with grandma and grandpa, they'll make them fish or crab. I know crabs and shrimp and you name it, the kids will eat it. So fish is very good for you, but I can't do it.
We found Coda like shrimp.
Oh yeah.
She'll get the jumbo shrimp deal from Culver's, which is really great.
Well, she'll have the shrimp. The mom makes the shrimp dip for the holidays.
Yeah. Every time you go to Christmas.
She wants to bring it home, and I'm like, no, Dakota.
Now Heather has a habit that if she's gonna come home and she's really tired, the one thing that her go-to thing is breakfast for dinner.
Oh my God, I love this for dinner. Because it started a long time ago, but because I'm not a big breakfast eater at breakfast time, which is not good. And we've instilled that the kids need to still have breakfast just because mom does not.
Yeah.
And I am awful. And we've talked about that numerous times. I am super awful. I'm not a breakfast person. If I could have breakfast at 11 o'clock, I'd be having lunch and breakfast. I'm good. So, but I love breakfast items, foods that you make. So yes, if I'm really haven't had a pancake in a while, I will make it for dinner, like French toast eggs, bacon, I don't care.
She
Load it
has
up
a
with the
great
grease.
little dish called egg mush, and
Yes,
it's from her dad.
That's from my dad's recipe.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and and so that one is just finding, hash browns.
Well, it's not. It doesn't have to be hash browns, but basically,
a
it's
potato,
like
a meat.
It's an
egg and cheese.
omelet in a bowl
Or a skillet.
And it my dad started it. I don't know how we got started, because my dad makes really actual omelets too, and very good at making omelets. But for some reason, I was a kid, and he just like started scrambling up eggs and had mushrooms and cheese and onions and tomato. I mean, just whatever you would put in an omelet, ham. And then all of us, it was kind of like a bar, and we could add to the eggs what we wanted, and we called it egg mush.
And we have ones we agree on quite a bit. And one of those, it was just in my head, I'm kind of losing it now. One of those very famously for us, and now I lost it completely. Dang it, I was hoping I could trigger myself. But it's something you make. Chicken dumpling soup.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I always loved from the truck stops. You make
it's actually chicken dumpling. It's homemade chicken and dumpling noodle soup, because I add noodles too.
You do.
So it's not just chicken noodle soup, it's chicken dumpling noodles.
Now in the beginning it was Bisquick style that you used to do,
where
now it would literally float biscuits to the top, which was kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But now you actually do the traditional egg.
Yes. And Mike, who is now passed away, my friend Mike, who I worked with up at Rookies, Park Ridge. Shout out to Randy.
Yeah. Randy Warrick.
And
good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, so Mike worked with me at Applebee's, and then we worked together at Park Ridge and Rookies up in Point.
Right.
And he actually taught me how they do them and how they make their famous chicken dumpling soup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
so
it's really cool
I my own version to it, but the dumpling parts, come from him showing me how to truly make a good dumpling, and they are excellent. So I do make homemade
chicken pilaf. We'll kind of go down the line,
which is my grandmother's recipe.
Yeah, that's like the next one. So
my
it's
mother's
not a soup.
recipe.
It's the noodle, or it's the rice style.
Chicken
so
pilaf.
Good.
So
good.
When I would go to Florida, so my mom in Florida, when I would go to Florida every summer, there was a few things that she would always make for me because they were my favorite. So chicken pilaf is one of them. And so then when I got older, she taught me how to actually make it myself for my kids. And then she would make split pea soup. And I'm the only one in the family that loves split pea soup. I'm the only one that likes peas because my dad doesn't like peas. I love her. I mean, she would do bone on ham. Oh my gosh, she makes the best split pea soup. So she actually has the ham on the bone, and cooks it in the broth with the peas and everything. And then I don't know how she does it. I still don't make split pea soup. I want to learn though. But then eventually after so much time, she takes off the bone and leaves the meat in the broth with the pea. It's so good.
And I was talking about this a couple episodes back about the idea of, I was trying to make it where it felt like the restaurant that you were eating at, just because I knew the particulars of where, Heather worked at Applebee's.
I've worked everywhere.
We would go to McDonald's, and you go, I got my favorite sandwich here. I've got my favorite sandwich there. I've got my favorite, Taco John's is her favorite, right? So I wanted to come close to something when we made tacos, right? So I'd want to get the ground beef as ground down to little pieces as I could. So when we'd make tacos, it would be close to the restaurant thickness, all that stuff.
Which he just needs to learn to make it his own way.
But what I've noticed is I've gotten better at it because I'm so particular. And so I'm trying to get stronger.
I'm awful at like the grilling stuff. I mean, I've been cooking a long time.
Still mediocre in my mind.
No, he's not. He's pretty good. I mean, this is kind of being a stereotype, I guess, more or less. But men truly are good at grilling.
Oh,
I'm
hot take.
I can do it, but it's not. My steaks never turn out like your steaks do on the grill.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, like they just don't.
Yeah.
That's the stereotype, because I'm sure there's plenty of women that can grill just fine. I just cannot. I just feel like men are capable of
You
better
love
than women.
everything on the grill if I could do it.
Oh God, yes. Chicken, steak, yes.
So I'm learning more and more how to do grill better, and then on top of it,
used to not. You used to not cook as much as you do now.
no,
I don't know why,
right.
but
I've always had the inkling to want to, and now we've got a family. I mean, now that skill works. You know.
I mean, even when we started seeing each other, you just never really cooked. I think as the kids have gotten older, you've gotten more wanting to cook.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's for my health too. I mean, I've had diabetes type 2. She's got type 1. And, you know, learning the idea that when you do make it yourself, you're not putting all the preservatives and the things that kind of mess up how your body reacts to just regular food in general. So I'm kind of figuring out that if I make it at home, it doesn't have the preservatives that are in, unless you're using canned stuff, you still have plenty of preservatives. But I made her my own spaghetti sauce. We only had canned puree.
It was good.
And
I was impressed, actually.
and so what I did is I just read the back of the Prego jar and realized what they didn't have in it compared to everybody else. And then I just kind of, because of how many box items we have made and what they usually call for and some of the extra ingredients.
I was so against I swore when I got older and I had kids of my own, I would stop making box stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because when I was younger, we really were poor at times. And, you know, I mean, we really kind of lived off of, I mean, no offense, but we lived off of box things.
Yeah.
And just, so I try to, if we do have to use a box things, I still try to make it our own. Like I know you're not a fan, but I actually enjoy it where it's homemade hamburger helper.
Right.
Where it's my own kind of version of hamburger helper.
Yeah, I feel like what they have for the mix gets diluted, and if we're changing what they already had for like powder and stuff, it really changes the flavor of what I got used to with that. Yeah. But if we figured out the ingredients that were gone and made it ourselves, that'd be kind of cool. Like take your tricks and then throw in that one piece that'll at least get the crema back or whatever is in there. I'm like, then you can make it all day the way you make it, because I do like the way you make it. I just want to make sure that like the cheese flavor or butter flavor, and I think you like it like that. I mean,
but there's lots of things I make from scratch.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So what's your favorite thing that I make?
Oh, I think everybody's in our family, it has to be the dip. It has to be the taco dip.
Oh, I thought you were going to say chili.
Well, yeah, I mean, her chili won in my high school contest.
The kids have been telling me for years I should put my chili in like a chili cook-off.
And we did it.
And I've been
2 years ago? 1 year?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been tweaking it for how many years now? Quite a few years now. I've been tweaking my recipe.
She lets me variate it, and I don't make too bad of a mistake.
No, he makes it just fine.
Which is cool. I mean, they let me put green peppers in this last time, which is really nice.
Well, my dad makes homemade chili, and his was always
hot.
Because he likes hot, spicy foods, and I like something spicy. Like you don't do spicy chicken wings, and I love spicy chicken wings.
I do the basic like barbecue buffalo. And teriyaki, right? The hottest I'll get is maybe the garlic.
Yeah, he doesn't do very hot.
I don't.
So,
but chili, I'll push the envelope if I really want it. But
so my dad makes homemade chili, and it was a little too spicy. Like, I mean, after you take a bite, you can feel it for like a day.
See, if it makes me sweat, that's the borderline I get. If it can hang out and not kill my tongue, but it makes you sweat, I don't mind those.
So over the years, I've created my own chili recipe and done it my own way, and not it's not as hot, but it still's got a nice little kick to it that the kids all really love my chili. So usually when it's chili night in my household, in the wintertime it's a lot more obviously than summertime, but if our kids could have chili at least once a week, I think they'd be happy. I don't make it that much, but I try to make it once every couple of weeks.
Well, we're going to toss it out there. Check us out, like and subscribe, you guys. Hit the bell to not miss anything that we're doing. And you had a special guest today, and my wife, Heather, joining in.
I Ken took over.
That's all right.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's what's going to make this show really good to me is where we can kind of just cover things and just whatever comes on my mind. And she's on my mind, everybody. Yay.
Aww,
So
he's such a liar.
Well, you know, I'm not very good at it. But I'll tell you what, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks,
like
guys.
and subscribe, and you're watching DAHL Media.
That's kind of it.